Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to Atlanta Falcons Today. We're jumping into the latest Falcons news and rumors, including a preview for Falcons Panthers coming up on Sunday, which is, as we all know, a must-win game for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's start with a very interesting tweet from an unlikely person calling out Matt Ryan. This is weird stuff to start the day with. Kurt Warner called out Matt Ryan on Twitter. Yes, Hall of Fame quarterback. Remember, the Rams guy who obviously is having a movie made about him right now. Now he's an NFL analyst, does some play-by-play or some color analyst on the radio. I think he does Monday Football on Westwood One. Either way, that Kurt Warner, you know who he is. Very critical of Matt Ryan's decision-making, as we will see, talking about how essentially he has some good throws, but then some really questionable throws. Watching the film, it's a very fascinating tweet we'll get to in just 1 second. Although, as I'm going to point out, you're going to see this, Matt Ryan has been one of the most hit quarterbacks in the league this year, which, I don't know, Kurt, might have something to actually do about it. I don't know. Either way, here's a tweet first from Kurt Warner. Throw it up on the screen right now. Quote, "Few quarterbacks frustrate me more watching film than Matt Ryan. He makes so many big-time throws, but equally as many confusing reads and decisions. I have no idea what to make of it. Not sure how it's possible, but it's every week? Question mark, question mark, question mark." That, again, comes from the official Kurt13 Warner Twitter account, which, again, now let me just say this. I'm not an expert in terms of watching NFL film, but I do watch the Falcons every single week, as you guys do as well, and I don't think the Falcons' problem is Matt Ryan's decision-making. I think it's more Matt Ryan not having time to make actual decisions. Let me show you. Kurt, how about the most sacked quarterbacks in 2021, right? Who is it? Well, first off, it is Lamar Jackson. Just a little side note, most sacked quarterback by far. Carson Wentz is up there as well. But looking at Matt Ryan, where does he sit? He currently sits as the 9th most sacked quarterback in the National Football League. Baker sits there at 29 overall sacks. Teddy has 28 with the Denver Broncos. Derek Carr, 27. Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan tied there at number 9. So top 10 in total sacks, in terms of sacks this year by defensive lines attacking Matt Ryan. So top 10. That's not good, Kurt, right? How about this stat? This one's way more eye-opening for Kurt Warner. I didn't even mention this one. Total quarterback hits allowed by each NFL team. Well, the least hit quarterback is Tom Brady. He's been hit 40 times this year. The most hit quarterback, how about Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons? 92 times Matt Ryan has been hit this year. 92. That is most in the National Football League. Next is Carson Wentz with Indy. Third is, of course, Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. Fourth is Teddy Bridgewater. And fifth right now, or I guess tied for fourth, whatever it is the Chargers sitting there at 77. I don't know, Kurt. Does that have something to do with it? And I'm not going to sit here and defend every single decision that Matt Ryan has made. He's made a lot of bad decisions. You go back to interceptions this past year where you kind of went, what is Matt Ryan looking at? But you can't take into account Matt Ryan's decision-making without mentioning the fact that he is absolutely running for his life every single day. And the stats back it up. The most hit quarterback in the National Football League. Yes, he's top 10 in sacks, not the most sacked quarterback, but the most hit quarterback definitely has to get inside his head and speeds up his clock. He has to get the ball out quicker. Not like he has time to sit back there and make perfect reads like Tom Brady does, apparently, every single week. So, an interesting comment to start today's video. Again, I'm not going to sit back and say that Kurt Warner doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not going to sit here and defend Matt Ryan blindly. I think Matt Ryan has been up and down this year, more good than bad, but still plenty of bad. And of course, Kurt Warner knows more than I or even you do. But at the same time, not taking into account the other factors of who he's throwing to, all of the hits that he takes, the pressures in his face, is a little bit unfair to Matt Ryan, in my opinion. Ad break here. Quick pin comment down below. Answer this question. Grade Matt Ryan's play this year. A, B, C, D, or F. Where are you at on Matt Ryan's play? Do you agree with Kurt Warner? Apparently, Kurt Warner would think it's like a C, maybe even a D+. I'm more at a B- to an A, or a B+ to an A-. I think he's played well, taking into all of the circumstances we just talked about. But give me your thoughts down below at the pinned comment. All right, next I want to jump into the Falcons draft. You're saying, Thomas, why are we talking about the Falcons draft right now? It's still very early. I know, but I saw a tweet talking about the Falcons having the 8th overall draft pick this year, and I thought, wait a second, I didn't even realize they have a top 10 draft pick sitting there at 5 and 7, and yet actually they do. And so I wanted to jump in here, quickly give you guys a quick look at where the Falcons stand with their current first 5 picks in next year's NFL draft, as well as talking about the impact of having some pretty high draft picks as it currently stands. So as I mentioned, 8th overall, that's where they currently stand at 5 and 7. There are so many teams clustered together with 5 wins and 7 losses, or 4 wins and 8 losses, that it's actually not that surprising to see that the Falcons are very much in the running for a top 10 overall draft pick. Currently, again, 8th overall is their first draft pick. Then they have 2 draft picks in the second round. Remember, the Julio Jones trade will have an impact there. 43 overall is their own. The Titans is 61 overall. And then the third round draft pick is 74 overall, followed by the 4th round draft pick sitting there currently at 111 overall. So plenty of draft picks in the first round, and a lot of them right now are going to be pretty high. Now, with that all being said, we have to take into account that the Falcons' rebuild is going to come through the draft. Like, these are the draft picks that are going to make the Falcons hopefully successful faster in the future. It's not the free agents that they may or may not be able to sign with the limited amount of money they're going to have next year. It's the draft picks. They have got to go out there and hit on these. You're talking about, 5 draft picks in the first 4 rounds. You got to hit on at least 3 of them. Most notably, your first 3 draft picks, first, second, and second. You've got to go ahead and find good players there who can be instant impacts at their positions. They don't have to be superstars year 1, much like Kyle Pitts does not turn into an absolute superstar year 1, but he has to have star potential, starting level potential, and that's something that I think they struggled with last year with a guy like Richie Grant, who, has done virtually nothing so far this year as a second-round draft pick. So I want to jump on here and just give you guys a quick look at not only where the draft picks are, but a mock draft that I saw the other day to give you an example of who you could potentially be looking at in the 2022 NFL Draft. FANSIDED has a mock draft here. I think it's a little bit overdone. I don't think you get all these players in these positions, but it's just interesting to see where FANSIDED has some of these players going for the Falcons' current mock draft if the season ended today, because again, things can change. With their first overall draft pick, they take Derek Singley, the cornerback out of LSU, pair him with obviously A.J. Terrell. That to me is a fantastic choice. I like a pass rusher there, but 2 star-stud corners going forward would not be a bad thing for Dean Pease. First second-round draft pick would be Justin Ross, the wide receiver out of Clemson. I like that. I think they need a wide receiver. I don't know if you spend your second-round draft pick on a wide receiver, but you get the idea that if Ridley doesn't come back, you need some help from Matt Ryan on the outside. Then they have Darian Kennard, the tackle out of Kentucky. I like that pick. I think they need to address the offensive line at some point during the first couple of rounds of the NFL draft. And then it's the pass rusher from Penn State, first name Arnold. I looked it up, how to say his last name. It's Ebiketie, I think is how you say his last name. I butchered that. I practiced in the mirror before I came on the air. Either way, pass rusher comes a little bit late here in the 3rd round, but he's definitely a good one coming out of the Big Ten. And then John Mechie, the wide receiver out of Alabama, who just tore his ACL in, of course, the SEC championship game. I don't think Mechie's going to fall that far. I think Mechie's a top first, probably a second-round draft pick at wide receiver. Either way, that is a good example of what a mock draft could look like with all these first-round draft picks, 5 in the first 4 rounds. It's exciting to know that Atlanta's going to have some opportunity to get some good players next year. Hopefully they're able to do so. What position will the Falcons draft with their first-round draft picks coming up here in 2022? Will be a pass rusher, be a cornerback, offensive lineman? Let me know what you guys think down below right now in the comments section. I think pass rusher, but Stingley out of LSU would not be a bad pick at 8 overall. All right, quick shout out to our friends and sponsor today's video, BetUS, chatsports.com/BetFalcons, promo code Falcons125. Get that 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Turn your $100 deposit into $225 for you guys to bet on the Falcons this week. Let's see what I did. Here are my bets of the week. Lions +9 at the Broncos. +9. Detroit just had their first win last week against the Vikings. I think they keep the ball rolling here and at least cover versus Denver. They're 8-4 against the spread so far this year. Bucks -3.5 versus the Bills. Bills been a little unimpressive. I know there was some weather issues on Monday Night Football. I think it was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday Night Football against the Patriots, but I like the Bucks -3.5. Cardinals -2.5 on Monday night versus the Rams. I feel very confident about the Cardinals beating up the Rams there and basically locking up the number 1 seed. I mean, it's not officially locked up, but pretty much going there. Give me the over for Raiders Chiefs. I see a shootout in that one. The Raiders always play the Chiefs hard, even though it will be cold up there at Arrowhead. I'll take the Bengals +1 versus the 49ers. I've been burned by the Bengals a lot recently, but I will take them versus the Niners. I think they bounce back following a bad loss at home versus the Chargers. Those are my bets of the week. You guys can jump in on those by following or by, of course, betting with our friends at BetUS, chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Promo code is Falcons125. All right, let's go ahead and finish up here with a quick look at the Falcons-Panthers matchup coming up on Sunday, as Atlanta has had a chance to get the 6 wins on the season and keep their playoff hopes alive. The Panthers, coming off a bye week, have had a lot of turmoil recently, including Cam Newton playing bad, and the firing of offensive coordinator Joe Brady, which was at one point seemingly a NFL coaching candidate. Of course, the Panthers got him as an OC, and Matt Rule has let him go over the bye week because the offense has been very, very bad. No Christian McCaffrey in this one. It's going to be, to me, a favorable matchup for the Falcons. The Panther defense is not a bad defense. They can stop the run, see what Cordell Patterson is able to do against that. But this is a game the Falcons should 100% go ahead and be able to win. What's your score prediction for this one? How do you feel? I'm thinking Falcons are able to get at least 24. I think 24-13. I feel very confident. I'm not high on Cam Newton in this Panther offense. Give me your score prediction down below right now for Panthers Falcons. And while you guys are down there, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We just eclipsed 4,000 subs here on Atlanta Falcons Today, and we have plenty of great content coming up next couple of days and weeks, including our full breakdown of the Sunday game happening on Monday morning as we always do. So go down below and subscribe. Speaking of Cam Newton, I mentioned him earlier there. He's just not been that good. And maybe he's kind of figured things out over the bye week, relearned the playbook, built some rapport with his wide receivers. But Cam has looked very bad since having that, one rushing touchdown and that one play of his first game against the Arizona Cardinals whenever they didn't have Kyler Murray, by the way. But Cam has been very rough overall, and I think the Falcons might have a chance to look good on defense against him at quarterback. Also, Matt Ryan has pink eye right now, or is recovering from pink eye, according to multiple reports. He said that he's doing the droplets. Have you ever had pink eye? I had pink eye as a kid. I remember the eye was just itchy, and I felt like I had kind of a cold, but I guess the drops go in there. I don't know how you get pink eye these days, but Matt Ryan has pink eye. So, fun fact there, he has pink eye, but should be good to go to play on Sunday. Other Falcon injury reports here quickly. A couple of notable ones here. Fabian Monroe did not practice yesterday with a hamstring injury. Should be able to go on Sunday, but was held out due to precautions. Richie Grant's dealing with an ankle issue, although not necessarily a big issue for the Falcons because Grant's not been playing that well overall. And finally, Cordell Patterson got some much-needed rest yesterday. Did not practice, but it was just due to the fact they're giving their best player, essentially, a little bit of rest. So a couple of injury news there, but nothing that serious. We'll finish on this. Who do you got? Atlanta or Carolina? ATL down below for the Falcons, or CAR down below for the Panthers. Again, I'm going Falcons 21-17 or 21-13, as I said earlier. I want your thoughts down below right now. Ultimate for today on our Atlanta Falcons news and rumor video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Plenty more content coming up in the next couple of days and weeks. Again, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off for the rest of your day.